feel like one thing that everyone has once done is take advantage of life. Now, when I say take advantage of life, I mean whether it's your life or let me reword this. So let me think. Yeah, there we go. Taking your life for granted or taking life in general for granted. So we are all the same. We all have a body that has the same bone structure, the same organs, and all that stuff. What what makes us all different and makes us all unique is the soul that is in our body, and I consider that soul life. Okay, so our life makes us unique. Our experiences, the things that we go through, our hardships, our successes, our losses, it all adds up and molds you into the person you are today. And so, one thing that everybody has once done is take life for granted. And it may not be your own life that you took for granted. However, it could be somebody else's life that's close to you. See, I didn't start understanding the concept of life and how special and how fragile life really is until I was almost out of high school. And I feel like that is the case for the majority. You have outliers that experience harsh deaths before high school or things like that, but for the most part, I feel like people start to reach that realization around high school. But during middle school and your teenage phase, all you think about is yourself, and everything is just kind of the same for you if you're lucky. Everything's the same for you, so you don't really consider that the people that are around you are not going to be there one day. And I didn't consider that until I was almost out of high school. Like, I understood the meaning of death, but I didn't realize how special the present moments were. My grandpa told me this one thing. It was a random day we were hanging out. We went and got some McDonald's. I remember it was a Tuesday or something. We went and got some McDonald's. It was summer break. We were on the way back to his house. I remember I was holding a banana. And he said, Chase, today's never going to happen again. This Tuesday, at this time, on this date, it's never going to happen again. That banana you're holding, you're never going to hold the same banana again. This conversation that we're having, we're never going to have this exact conversation again. And at first, I think I was like 13, so I was like, this old dude tripping. What is he even talking about? He tripping. But he really planted a seed in me because my memory is trash, but I still remember that day to this day. And that happened, almost 10 years ago. And the more I think about it, the more I realize how right he was. Even though the days typically feel the same, you do the same thing, you get up, you go to work, go to the gym, whatever. Get up, go to school, go to the gym, whatever. Or you do whatever you're doing. Same thing every day. Just because it's the same thing every day does not mean that it is a repeat. No, there are new experiences to have, there are new people to meet, there are new conversations to be had with the same person. That's how that's how bonds and relationships are built. So what lead me Alright, my fault. I gotta slow down. I'm tripping over my words right now. What led me to this topic today is I was thinking about the people that have passed in my life, especially my friend who who passed recently. He passed on Valentine's Day. He had a heart attack. He was working too hard. And it really hit me that I never really took the time to talk to him and really get to know him more. I really only knew him and became friends with him not because we saw each other and thought there was something interesting about each other and got cool, but he literally just came up to me and just started dapping me up. What's good, Chase? Dap me up. I got cool with him. You know, I would hit him up here and there on Instagram sometimes, asking for work, asking for help, and he would always be helpful. And, you know, the older I get, the more I realize how fast your life can just be taken away just like that. How quick things can happen. You know, even going to jail. Everything is real life in the moment. The consequences are later. But everything's in the moment of real life. So I was just thinking about my friend today. His funeral is actually this Sunday. And I was just thinking to myself that it's very interesting that because of somebody passing away, I'm now going to reunite with a lot of friends that I haven't talked to since I got out of high school, which was 4 years ago. And it makes me kind of sad because if this person never passed away, I probably would have never talked to these people again. But because this person passed away, going to the funeral, because he's a great dude, you know. I have nothing bad to say about him. I don't know if anybody has anything bad to say about him. And, you know, that's another thing is that a lot of people are very cliche with deaths. They're like, oh, you know, once somebody passes, oh, he was a great guy, he was a sweetheart, blah, blah, blah. But when I say this, I genuinely mean it. You know, he was a hard-working dude. All he did was work. He literally died from overworking himself. You would only get like 2 hours of sleep, drink a bunch of Red Bulls, died from a heart attack. That boy ain't getting no rest, bro. So I genuinely mean it from my perspective on him. He was just a good dude, bro. And it's crazy how we don't give these people the acknowledgement until they pass. You know, they say I'm not a part of this because my ex got me flowers because, you know, she actually told me this saying. I didn't even know it was true until she told me it, but they say that men receive their first set of flowers in their casket. And I'm not saying that men really need to get flowers, but it's just kind of crazy to think about that there are really a lot of people out here that received their very first flower when they were dead. And there's a lot of people out here that received their very first speeches of acknowledgement or somebody talking about their accomplishments and how much they appreciate the person when they pass away. And it just makes me wonder, why is it that we talk so highly of somebody and care so much about somebody when they pass away, but when they're down the street and we ain't see them in a while, they're technically dead to us in our life, but they're not dead for real. We don't give a damn. We don't hit them up. We don't talk to them. Oh, we got stuff going on in our lives. They got stuff going on in their lives. You know, everybody got stuff going on in their lives. So it's just an interesting concept that it takes somebody passing away for them to get acknowledgement and get all this love and get all this stuff, you know, as the majority doesn't receive that while they're still alive. And who knows, maybe them receiving that in the first place could keep them alive. So make sure you appreciate those that are around you. Try to hang out with your family members more. I need to try to hang out with my family members more. I rarely speak to my grandparents, and I'm blessed enough to still have grandparents, as a lot of people don't even have grandparents. So I need to do better, and I will do better, and I need you to do better too, because life is short. It's short, it's fragile, it can be taken away just like that. Once God decides it's your time to go meet Him, you're gone. It doesn't matter how healthy you've been trying to be. It doesn't matter how much you've been taking care of yourself, how much money you've been making, all that stuff. If it's your time, it's your time, bro. So we're just living off borrowed time, so you really gotta make the most of it. And that's what living life is. Making the most of what you got. See, because I also still be thinking about my grandma on my mom's side, Umi. She passed away so suddenly. And it's crazy because before she passed, I remember she was calling me up a cool amount of times because her and my older brother lived together, and she was calling me up and she was just like, hey, like, I'm really worried about Christian and all this other stuff. She always cared about other people. She would always put other people above her needs and stuff like that. Like she could be selfish at times, but at the same time, she was very selfless. And it's crazy to think that even in her final moments, or leading up to her final moments, I had no idea that she wasn't even doing that good. And the craziest part is I could have known if I took the time to ask her how she's doing. Took the time to call her up. I'll literally have thoughts playing in my head like, hey, you should call Umi. And I'll be like, nah, like, I'll call her another time. And then boom, she passes. The very last time I spoke to her, my mom handed me the phone. And she was like, hey, they're about to pull the plug. Umi doesn't want to be alive anymore. Do you have anything you want to say to her? And I was just in shock, man. Like to this day, I still wish I said a lot more. And to this day, I wish I talked to her a lot more and expressed to her how grateful I am to have such a wonderful person in my life. But once that death happens, it's over. It's too late. It's never too late until it's too late. As long as that person's alive, it's never too late. It's never too late to apologize to them. It's never too late to say that you love them. It's never too late to acknowledge the things that you appreciate about them. But once they pass away, they're gone. Now it's too late to do any of that. So make sure you appreciate what you got. Appreciate the people around you. Appreciate those that help you out. And just spread love and peace. Life's too short to be hating each other. Like um, sometimes when my ex and I would get into it and it would be time to go to sleep, like, we used to have the rule where we weren't allowed to be beefing before we go to sleep or whatever, but sometimes I would really piss her off and that rule would go out the window. But I would just think to myself, I'm like, damn, imagine if I passed or she passed in our sleep or whatever. And the last thing that we were talking about to each other was an argument and how much we don't like what they do and stuff like that. It just feels terrible. It would feel horrible. So You never know when somebody else's time is coming. You never know when your time is coming. So at least if you can leave an impression that you were, at least, because you can't always be positive. You know, everybody makes mistakes. Everybody messes up. People get angry. It happens. We're human. That's what makes humans human, you know? But at least to leave a mark on the world that for the most part, you were a positive person. You cared about people. You were able to make people laugh. You were able to have fun with people. And you were able to be emotional with people. That's what matters most. So, that's it for this video. I appreciate you for watching. And thank you for being alive. Thank you for being you. I hope you have a good rest of your day. Or have a good rest of your night. And I'll see you in the next video. Peace.